This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Keith German, and I welcome you to the Back to School Getting Started in Jasperactive webinar. I do want to mention real quick that this is a session that is being recorded, as we have recorded all of our sessions this month, and we will be selecting from one of those recordings and trying to make one of those available. I would ask, as I've already muted the phones from our end here, I would ask that everybody go ahead and mute your phones as well, because later in the session I will be opening things up for Q&A, and when someone speaks, it would be great if we could have as minimal noise as possible for quality purposes, and I appreciate you doing that. And glad you were able to join us this time of year. It's no small task to ask an educator to carve out some time in their classroom or during the day. And so I appreciate you making time for today, and I hope you find this of value. So how this will work right here is I'm just going to take you through a real quick introduction, very quick, and we're going to review the scenarios that I'm going to address in today's presentation, and then we will get right into Jasperactive and take you through what you need to accomplish pertaining to those scenarios. So again, my name is Keith German. I am a certified teacher, and I did teach Microsoft Office curriculum in the classroom at the high school level, Computer Applications 1 and Computer Applications 2. And I'm just proud to take a chance here to share these photos with you that our yearbook was able to grab of the students that were available. And as you see here, we had a lot of students that were proud to display their accomplishments, as I'm sure you do each year, or if you're new to it, I can't wait till you experience this moment. It'll make you so proud. And so proud of these kiddos here and their accomplishments in Microsoft Office certifications. Here is the agenda for today. We are going to focus on getting started. This is not an A to Z training session, so we will focus on where things begin once a purchase is made, and that begins with what's called a center administrator. A center is a school, by the way, so a center administrator will get things going. Then they will pass things off to the teachers in the classroom, and we have instructions prepared for them as well. And then today, I am going to go ahead and at least introduce you as to where you can find information for your IT personnel for product installation or other type of support. And then our technical support team is amazing, and I'll be sharing with you where our how-to guides are, our video tutorials are, and how to contact support should you need to. And then we'll just open it up to Q&A. This is designed as a 30-minute session, and I will do my best to stay within that. So as you see here, though, the focus of today, to be clear, is on the Jasperactive Microsoft Office Specialist Learning System with Gmetrics. And that will be the focus of today's session, is on the Jasperactive side and getting it up and running. Before we move into the software, which is next, I just kind of wanted to, for visual people like me, I just wanted to show you some of the teacher resources that are available to you. These are available out of the box, already built into your Jasperactive system. They came with your purchase. So if you were not aware of this, these type of resources are waiting for you to download them and then to determine which ones you would want to use and in which way. All right, again, we're going to focus on Jasperactive with Gmetrics. Before we jump into the software here, I just wanted to give a shout out to our Certiport. That's our partner globally, and all of our Microsoft Office USA-based curriculum runs through them. So if you do not know who your Certiport territory manager is in your area, I would recommend that you make an effort to identify that person, as you will want to have a relationship there. But we are very thankful for the amazing relationship that we have with them, and how we are able to combine our educational learning solution systems and certification systems to make a great solution for educators. Okay, that's it. Short PowerPoint. Let's get started with Jasperactive. Now, you're looking here at a web browser. You can launch Jasperactive one of two ways, okay? You can do that through a desktop icon, once the product is installed. So you can just double click your icon on your desktop and it'll launch Jasperactive. Or you can go to a web browser, as I've done here, and type jasperactive.com, and you will be where you need to be for logging in purposes. So this is a web-based application. It does, though, require a local installation to your teacher machine and to the machines of your student learners. And so the purpose of that is that it does run live in application, live in Microsoft Office. So there is a local install file required there, as does Gmetrics for the practice exams. They too require an installation, so you will want to be aware of that and communicate that to your IT personnel. So before we jump into the first section, let me just kind of cover a few scenarios that I will cover here as we go forward. So scenario number one that I will address is, I am a center administrator, but I'm also a teacher too. And I noticed when we got the system that I was given a center administration account. How do I also get my teacher account activated since I already have a login? We will cover that. I'm a teacher, but I created my login account already when our salesperson gave us a demo code. So I already have a login. The system, I'm trying to do my teacher account and it's telling me I can't continue because my email address is already used. What do I do? We will be addressing that. Another scenario is, I'm a teacher. How do I set up my students' access? We will definitely cover that. Okay. And then real big this time of year, early into the school year, is, I'm a student, but I've changed my schedule. I was in period one, or whatever you might call it, a particular class with a particular teacher, and now I'm in a different class with the same or a different teacher. How do I get my progress, without losing it, moved over to the new class period so that I'm showing up on the correct reports and for grading purposes and everything? We will definitely cover that as well. Okay. All right. So there's your scenarios that we will hit, and we'll certainly cover a few more things as well. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pretend, if you will, that you have just made a purchase and it's all been secured with a PO, and you have just received an email notifying you, welcoming you to Jasperactive, and it's got this bright red button on it. It's called a fulfillment email, and Certiport distributes that once they secure the purchase and process it. And let's say you've gotten that. So that means, one, that means you are the center administrator for your school. You were identified by Certiport as the center administrator. If you are the center administrator and you haven't received that email and you don't have instructions on how to get going, it is possible that that email went to the purchasing agent or the procurement person at your school because they process the order. It is possible that that person was set up, and you might just find out who that is, go to them, say, hey, did you get this particular email? And if so, could you forward that to me because it should have gone to me? And that's just something to consider. Otherwise, you can just contact Certiport or us, and we will redistribute your instruction email. So let me show you what it looks like. So first, you get an email. It's got a big bright red button, and then it's going to give you your temporary login credentials, usually a temporary password using your school email address. And then also it includes your login credentials and getting started information for Gmetrics. So that's what's in your center administrator fulfillment email. So you notice here I've got multiple tabs opened up on my browser. I'm going to go to the second tab. And the main thing that I want you to notice right here is the title. Okay, this particular page that I'm on, and it's right here. If you're taking notes and you want to make note of the URL that you see here on the screen, then please do that. But this is your center administrator getting started landing page, your instructions page. So this is what you'll see when you click that bright red button. And as I scroll down, you'll see some instructions, but you'll notice that our content team really did a wonderful job, and they have given you step by step by step instructions, including some visual representations and all. Okay, so you center administrators getting going from the start, you're going to log into Jasperactive, you're going to type in the username and password that was given to you in the fulfillment email, and then you're going to log in. Once you've logged in, if you look at the image to the right, you're going to drop your menu down to the left of that avatar image. Now, most of you will probably only see center admin, of course, with your school information here, and then student. You probably at this point will not see this teacher item right here because your teacher account has not yet been activated. So I just kind of want to make that point right there. And then right here at step 2, it tells you what you do next. On that screen, when you have Center Administrator selected, you're going to see a menu item called License Inventory, so you'll find that. Once you click it, it will display your licensing information as shown here. And then what do? Step 3, you will take your teacher activation code right here, and in this case, the 4th column, it might be different for you, but right here, you will take this teacher activation code, you will highlight it, copy it, and then send that to your teacher or teachers that are instructionally delivering the Microsoft Office curriculum at your school. And please do not miss the second instruction here. You will also send to them the landing page, the getting started instructions page for them. So right here, you have your instruction page, you have your own dedicated landing page, but the teachers also have their landing page, their instructions page. So you wouldn't want to give them their teacher code and then not give them instructions. So make sure you do both of those right there. Okay. All right. So then you go down to the bottom right here. And then if you want to go ahead and address it now, or you can come back later, here's your information to get started with Gmetrics. Again, that Gmetrics information was provided in the fulfillment email as referenced here. And they've even given you a video tutorial overview of as an administrator. Okay, if you go back to the top here, I want to make note here of something. This attention red box you see here is on this page, and it is also duplicated on the teacher instruction page, landing page. And so I want to make note here that if you or any of your teachers actually used a demo code of Jasperactive prior to purchase, i.e. they already have an account, they've already used their email address for an account, then you will want to click this link right here. That will send us a notification, and then we will actually make a quick adjustment to move that email address user from the demo account to the center license school account that's appropriate for them. And we just need to be notified that that needs to be done. Okay, and so we've given you a quick link to do that. Okay, so let's see what the software looks like. This is your instruction page, and what did it tell you to do? It told you to go to a browser. It told you to go to jasperactive.com, type in your username credentials, and hit login. Okay, so we've done that. Success. My fulfillment email works. Okay, so I'm going to highlight a few things here. First, when you're in, here's your avatar. Really, all that is your profile information and details. If you'd like to edit those or fill those out further, you can do that. But really, most people, if you even click on that avatar, it's probably to go in there and change your password. But that is where you would do that. Your teachers do it. Your students do it. All of this avatar is there on all of the login accounts. Okay. Secondly, you see a drop down here. This drop down will not be on the screen for student accounts, but you, the student center admin, or you, the teacher, would have one. And it told you to drop that down and make sure it says center admin. Now, of course, it's the default here, and it probably will be for you. You probably will not have to select that. Then it told you to do what? License inventory. So I just wanted you to visually see where it is on the screen. You're going to click license inventory. It's going to display your license. And if you remember your instructions, you're going to copy the teacher activation code. You're going to then send that to your teacher or teachers along with that URL, that website link that gives them their instructions landing page, and then you're up and running. Okay. All right. So that is good for center administrators. I just wanted to make sure that you knew what to do, center administrators. There's one more thing we need to cover, and then we'll move on to teachers, and that is my scenario. I'm a center administrator. Okay, great. All of this worked. I did exactly what I was told to do. My teachers now have what they need. But guess what? I'm also a teacher. I need a teacher account. And if you do come in here and you drop this down and you do not see teacher right here, you only see center admin and student, then all you need to do is go to find users. And I'll pick on me today. And you will search for yourself because you can. So you'll type your own name in here. And of course it exists because otherwise you wouldn't be logged in. Okay. You will then probably only find one line here, but if you find two, that's fine. Select the correct one with the correct email address. And then you will go to the right, and you'll see my pointer here. You will go to the third Options menu button. That's called, and if I hover, it's called Center Options. It looks like a little building. I'm going to click it. And then what you're going to do, and I'll highlight it here for you, is you're going to add as a teacher to a center. Okay? You're already a center admin. Of course, everyone has the student option there. Everyone will. But you need to add yourself as a teacher to a center, which is a school. And so then you will come down here after selecting that option. You will drop this menu down. You will select your center, which is probably the only one that's in the drop down, but you'll select your school. And then once you do that, it will default your license that's assigned to that school into this next box here. If you have multiple licenses for that center, then select the correct license number. And one of the things you might want to do when I talked to you about license inventory earlier is you might want to make sure if there's multiple licenses that you pay attention to the order number, which was column 1. And select the correct order number that pertains to the correct license. So once you do that, you just hit save, and voila, you now are also a teacher. Okay, so now once you click save, you will then be able to see your drop down, and it will say center, teacher, and student, and you now have all of those options available to you. Okay, all right, so that is the center admin. So now we're done with what we do. Okay, and keep in mind, center admins, you can view teacher information at this school at the high level. You can view all the students at this school. And we talked about find users, and you can run reports. We have other training sessions and how-to guides on how to do these things. So you can refer to that. So let's go ahead and continue on here. So teachers, notice up here, I've got my third site loaded here. Okay, there's my third tab. And this one's a little different in that this is not center admin. This is my landing page for me as a teacher. So again, if you want to make note here, there you go. There's the URL for the teacher code. In case it didn't come to you and you want to make note of it now, you can do that. Okay, make sure you have your activation code though. All right, so teachers, once again, look what you have. You have the same thing laid out really well, step by step, bullet points, hyperlinks, everything you need to get Jasperactive up and running. And so you're going to go to your jasperactive.com, teachers. You're going to enter that activation code that your center admin just sent to you. You're going to fill out you're going to click activate. You're going to complete the registration form and click submit. Once you've done that, you now successfully have a teacher account, and you now have login access into Jasperactive. If you get a message, again, to reiterate, if you get a message that saying, I'm sorry, this account's already used, then you've got this link right here to make a request for us to make an adjustment to that, and so forth. The next thing you do is step 2, but this is Gmetrics related. So you can do Gmetrics now. You can get it set up because the fulfillment information and, well, your center admin has already set up your teacher accounts. So you can do that now, but if all you want to focus on is Jasperactive to get it up and running so your students could get in there and start learning, and maybe you'll deal with Gmetrics later, then you can always come back to this page and refer to step 2 and complete these steps later. So for Jasperactive though, today, we're going to focus on step 3, and that is I've got my teacher account set up. What do I do? Well, I need to create a group, really probably more than one group. So a group is like, how do you want to group students for purposes of reporting and grading? Well, for most schools, that's in the form of a class. And so you need to create your groups for each of your classes, but I need to emphasize something, especially those of you who are not familiar with Jasperactive. Please, please, teachers, create a group for yourself. Why? Because you too want to have a student account. You too want to go in there and log in as a student and see things as your students do, so you can help them and facilitate them and their learning and those kind of things. So first thing I would do is the first group I would create is my group. Keith German, Mr. German has a group. Then I would go create groups for each of my classes or my groups of students, however I might want to determine those. And I say that qualitatively because we have workforce development agencies, we have colleges, universities, corporations, all types of organizations using this software, and not just public schools or private schools. So all kinds of options available to you, but you get the point of what a group is. Okay, now once you do that, then you'll have your how-to guide here for activating a new student account. I personally would send this to my students, or I would put it up on screen and show it to them and step them through it and guide them. And this is your how-to guide on that. If you want to send anything to your tech personnel, here's your technical requirements they might be asking for right now before they do an installation. Okay. Here are all of the how-to guides, the entire library of how-to guides. So of course, creating a group is a how-to, but that's just one. Activating a new student guide account is a how-to guide, but that's just one. But here's the entire library of them. So you'll want to become familiar with those. And then if your IT personnel needs help identifying where to get the Gmetrics download file, you'll find that right here as well. And it's everything you need is right here in your steps. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to Jasperactive. I'm going to click log out. So I'm logged out. My center administrator just gave me my information, and there it is. I'm going to put the user activation code here, my teacher activation code here. I'm going to click activate, and then once I do that, I'm going to fill out my profile information, make sure I put in my school email address, figure out what password I want, and then I'm going to log in. Okay, and then your teacher account will be ready to go. All right, so we're going to pick on, let's see, I've got a teacher here named Lucy, and let's get her logged in, hopefully successfully. All right, now notice one thing different here in the drop down. No center admin. This is just a teacher. Okay, all right, so I've got my teacher account, but of course, like I said, all teachers can be a student too. Okay, got my avatar. If I'm using a temporary password, if someone set my account up and I want to change it, I can just click the avatar and change my password. All right, the very first thing you're going to do, you're going to go to Groups Manager. And it tells you what it does right here in description. I'm going to click Groups Manager. If you want to hit search to see if anything's there, you can. There usually should not be for new customers. Okay, so I'm going to click Add New Group. Okay, and right here, I'm going to type in probably something like Mr. German. Okay, whatever you want to type, you call it what you want. It's your group. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to drop this down right here. Now, I only have one license. Most of you would only have one license as well. Okay, if you have multiple, again, here's that order number I was telling you about. You'll want to make sure you select the correct order number that allows you to select the correct license. Every license has a duration time that's displayed here. That's when it begins and that's when it ends. So right here, though, you have a start date and you have a finish date. It is important that those dates are within the date range that displays next to the license you selected. So it must be one day after, in this case, September 6th, and it must be one day before, in this case, December 31st. Okay, so it must be, so those are bookends, and your start and your finish date must be within that date range for this to work correctly. Then if you want, you can come down here and say, maybe I'm gonna make this a little personal. Hey guys, this is my group. Okay, all right. Now, if this is your teacher group, my recommendation to you, and you don't have to do it, but my recommendation is you just go ahead and select everything. Turn every Microsoft Office product on for you. If this were your student groups, then you select the one or multiple Office products that you want displayed when they create their student account and they log in. What do you want them to see? Do you want them to only see what you're showing them right now? Do you want them to see the list of Microsoft Office products that you're going to be covering that semester or school year? Or do you want them to see all? And that is within your discretion. Okay. All right. Now, most of you, when you get your license, you actually, unlike me, you will see Office 2016 here, and most of you will see another tab to the right that says Office 2013. So it depends on your PC environment, which Microsoft Office version you're running, and you will select accordingly. Okay. Now, once you have gone in there and you've completed all this information, you see right now the group key says automatically generated, so there's nothing there. If you are taking notes today, I have a note for you. Group key equals student activation code. So here's what we need to activate that student account. I need to activate mine, and I need to activate the student account for my group of students. So what I'm going to do here, you can hit save, and then it will generate it. Now I'm going to use one that I've already got created here for this webinar, and I'm going to hit the edit button here. And right here, you will notice that once you hit save, our system automatically produces through an algorithm a group key. This is your student activation code for yourself and or your student groups. So you will, you can always come back to this if you need to, if you're not ready for your students yet, or you will copy this group code, and then you will provide that to your students so they can create their account via the new user field and clicking activate. Okay. All right. So make sure you get that to them, and it can be in so many different forms. You can send it to them via Remind app, use Microsoft Teams. You might use Google Classroom. You might write it on a whiteboard, sticky note, however you choose to get it to them, but they need that. Okay. All right. That is what a group key looks like, and I just want to emphasize that is your student activation code. Okay. All right. So I'm going to close this right here. We've talked about how to create your teacher account. We covered what center admins would do. We have talked about how to create groups, what they are, why you would use them. Okay. Now, the one thing I said, the other scenario I would cover is simple things of how to get your student set up. So that's what we're fixing to go to. Before we go there, though, I just want to highlight right here on the screen, here's your installer thing. So if you do need to get Jasperactive installed and you need to get this to your IT team, then what I would advise is you simply click installer, go to the download file in our complete version column, right click, copy the link, and email that executable file to your IT team so that they can push this executable out to the mini PCs in your lab or however installation might occur. I would also encourage you, and I pointed this out in the presentation, I encourage you to look at download teacher resources. You can download those per Microsoft Office product. You can download them individually, or there is an option for download all once you get into the particular product that you want to download resources for. And of course, again, it's not training again, but go into reports, familiarize yourself with your progress report, your grade report, your master analysis report, many types of reports in there, and begin familiarizing yourself with them as well. Okay, all right, so I'm going to log out here, and I do this for visual reasons, and I'm going to pick my student today named Daisy. Okay. And I do this for a reason, and it's right here. Watch my highlighter on the screen. No drop-down menu. This is what correctly a student account looks like. If you ever have a student account that has a drop-down, you need to contact support because that means they got a hold of a teacher activation code somehow. So please, teachers, please, I can't emphasize this enough. In your effort to get Jasperactive up and running, never lose patience and don't get so frustrated. And never, ever, ever give your teacher activation code out to a student. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Okay. All right. I told you one of the scenarios we would cover is how to activate the students. So we just talked about that, and that is that I go to jasperactive.com. We go to the new user field. We plug in that group key, which is the student activation code. We click activate just like you did when you created your teacher account. We fill out the profile, and then we log in. And here we are, we're logged in. So your student accounts are now up and running. But the other scenario is, I'm a student, I was in your period 1, and now I'm in your period 4. How can you help me get into the right class? Because now I've walked into the classroom into period 4, and I've handed them my change schedule slip, and they look at me and said, okay, go pick this PC or whatever, and then, but you need them in your reporting. So you're going to have them log in, and it's the student that will do this. The student will log in just as we have here, and whichever office product they have been learning in and they have progress in, you will have them click that product. So I'm going to click Microsoft Word, and I'm going to turn my highlighter on because here's the icon you need. It's a person with a chain link, and all that means is link to teacher, link to my teacher group. Okay, I'm going to click that. Once I get in, I'm going to hit this X and get, that was what you just saw was my teacher group key for period 1. I'm getting rid of it. You're going to give them your teacher group key for period 4. They're going to plug that in, click search. They're going to verify that this is the correct group, and then they're going to link to group, And then just like that, they are now out of period 1, into period 4. They're showing up on the correct reports, and they can have their progress now start being graded according to your group rubric that is within your control. And so you now have linked to teacher. The other thing that we were going to cover in this session today, if you will watch my screen here, my cursor, I'm going to go. So there's your scenarios for getting students set up, but I'm going to go to support because, as you know, this is software. Things are going to happen. You are going to want to know how to communicate to our support team, and you're going to want to have access to your support resources. So I'm going to click the support button, and it's going to take me to my Jasperactive support screen here. One more step for you. Ready? Teachers, once you get your students up and running, make sure you go to support and click sign up. That's your next and maybe your last step at this point in time. And that is you're going to create login credentials so that you can access, watch my cursor, submit a ticket. That is a ticket system software we use. You need a login for it, and then that will allow you to submit a ticket if you encounter an issue with Jasperactive or feel like there's something wrong with a lesson and you want us to troubleshoot it and test it out and quality control, etc. And then you will click submit ticket, sign in, and then you will give us the details we need and we'll take a look at it. And you will create a ticket number that you can monitor. Okay, there's your ticket status button there. Okay, also, this is where your how-to guides are. I told you earlier, here's a library of how-to guides. We also have a video library. I would recommend you subscribe to our YouTube channel, okay? If you ever need to contact support and something's down or you can't get to this or whatever, you can always email us at, if you're taking notes, I would make note of help@jasperactive.com. That also creates a ticket. That's just the email way of creating a ticket. This is the website electronic version of creating a ticket and the preferred method. Watch my cursor. I'm going to go to the bottom right. There's this big bright red bubble. That is what we call our help bot. It is a 24/7. So you teachers who work on the evenings and the weekends, and obviously this is very automated, and there's only so much we could do. But if you need some help or you need to troubleshoot something when we're not available, you can use our help bot, and hopefully that will help you there as well. Okay. All right. What I'm going to do right now, that has covered the agenda, if you will, of getting started, because at this point you are now live, you're up and running, your students are live, and they're ready to start learning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up our phone lines, and I'm going to make everyone available that can speak. If you have a question, you are certainly welcome to do that now. You would need to unmute yourself and make yourself available. Otherwise, if you do not, we are done with our agenda, if you will, and I thank you for your time, and I hope you found this of value, and I wish you and your students tremendous success in enabling greatness and getting Microsoft certifications. So what I've done now is I've gone ahead and unmuted all lines, and I welcome any questions at this time. Okay, we're going to call that a wrap. Again, I thank you for your time and wish you a good day.